The U.S. federal agent had a daring pitch for Nicolás Maduro's chief pilot. All he had to do was surreptitiously divert the Venezuelan president's plane to a place where U.S. authorities could nab the strongman. In exchange, the agent told the pilot in a clandestine meeting the aviator would be made a very rich man. The conversation was tense, and the pilot left noncommittal, though he provided the agent, Edwin Lopez, with his cell number, a sign he might be interested in helping the U.S. government. Over the next 16 months, even after retiring from his government job in July 2025, Lopez kept at it, chatting with the pilot over an encrypted messaging app. The untold, intrigue-filled saga of how Lopez tried to flip the pilot has all the elements of a Cold War spy thriller: luxury private jets, a secret meeting at an airport hangar, high-stakes diplomacy, and the delicate wooing of a key Maduro lieutenant. There was even a final machination aimed at rattling the Venezuelan president about the pilot's true loyalties. This month, the U.S. government has doubled the bounty for Maduro's capture on federal narco-trafficking charges, a move that Lopez sought to leverage in a text message to the pilot. "I'm still waiting for your answer," Lopez wrote the pilot on August 7, attaching a link to a Justice Department press release announcing the reward had risen to $50 million.
The Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolás Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico.
On September 18, Lopez saw a post on X by an anonymous plane spotter who had closely tracked the comings and goings of Maduro's jetliners over the years. The user, @R3CH0, a play on Venezuelan slang for furious, posted a screenshot of a flight tracking map that showed a presidential Airbus making an odd loop after taking off from Caracas. "Where are you heading?" wrote Lopez, using a new number. "Who is this?" responded Villegas, either not recognizing the number or feigning ignorance. When Lopez pressed about what they discussed in the Dominican Republic, Villegas grew combative, calling Lopez a coward. "We Venezuelans are cut from a different cloth," Villegas wrote. "The last thing we are is traitors." Lopez sent him a photo of them talking to each other on a red leather couch at the airplane hangar the previous year. "Are you crazy?" Villegas replied. "A little," wrote Lopez. 2 hours later, Lopez tried one last time, mentioning Villegas's 3 children by name and a better future, he said, awaited them in the U.S. "The window for a decision is closing. Soon it will be too late," Lopez wrote, shortly before Villegas blocked his number. Details of the ultimately unsuccessful plan were drawn from interviews with 3 current and former U.S. officials, as well as one of Maduro's opponents. Attempts to locate the pilot, Venezuelan General Bitner Villegas, were not successful. Since returning to the White House, Donald Trump has taken an even harder line. This summer, the president has deployed thousands of troops, attack helicopters, and warships to the Caribbean to attack fishing boats suspected of smuggling cocaine out of Venezuela. In 13 strikes, including a few in the eastern Pacific Ocean, the U.S. military has killed at least 57 people.
We're proud to be going on the offense, counter-cartel operations. And it's not counter-cartel, as was mentioned. These are designated terrorist organizations, foreign terrorist organizations. Our generation spent the better part of 2 decades hunting Al-Qaeda, hunting ISIS. Well, as the president said, this is the ISIS, this is the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere. They intimidate, they terrorize, they extort, They poison the American people. The president's right. Every boat we strike is 25,000 Americans whose lives are saved because of the drugs that were headed in our direction. So our message to these foreign terrorist organizations is we will treat you like we have treated Al-Qaeda. We will find you, we will map your networks, we will hunt you down, and we will kill you. And you've seen that evidence in the maritime domain, whether it's in the Caribbean or in the Pacific with the last 2 strikes. We know exactly who these people are. We know what networks they work with, what foreign terrorist organizations they're a part of. We know where they're going, where they originated from, what they're carrying. And they know we know. And that will soon start to change the calculus of these boats. So the critique of this is, of course, as often is the case, wrong. We know our authorities. It's locked tight. And we're going to treat them like foreign terrorist organizations on the offense. So the Department of War is not going to degrade or just simply arrest. We're going to defeat and destroy these terrorist organizations to defend the homeland on behalf of the American people, making the jobs of law enforcement safer in the process, making the communities of Americans safer in the process. We think it's a very core mission of the Department of War, and we're proud to be here, Mr. President.
Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro said the U.S. is making up an eternal war as the Trump administration announced a U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean. Maduro defended Venezuela as a drug-free country, adding that Venezuela will put an end to the cocaine trafficking that comes from neighboring Colombia.
They are inventing a new endless war. They promised they would never get involved in a war again, and now they're inventing a war that we are going to prevent with the mobilization of the peoples of South America, because South America and the Caribbean, all of them say so. No to war, yes to peace, yes to prosperity, yes to harmony and the coexistence of people. Venezuela is a country that is absolutely and completely free of coca leaf production, and it is also free of cocaine production. We are going to achieve 100% free passage from the tiny 5% of drug trafficking that comes from Colombia. They can't say that we are building a nuclear weapon. They can't say that we have missiles aimed at the cities of the United States. They can't say it, right? And since they can't say it, they make up an extravagant, vulgar criminal story. And it's completely false. If all the money that was looted from Potosi were put together, you could build a bridge. I say this to the people of the United States. It is vulgar, extravagant, deceitful, false, a denial of reality. The story they tell about Venezuela, about the Bolivarian Revolution, and about the working class president, the president of the common people, the president of the neighborhoods, Nicolás Maduro.
Earlier this month, Trump confirmed he had authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations in Venezuela. The U.S. flew B-52 Stratofortress bombers near the coast of Venezuela, and last week, 2 Air Force B-1 bombers flew near Venezuela's airspace.